Peace, peace, gratitude, and highest heart. I'm URIEL Riley. We are reading from How to Keep Your Heart Healthy and Fit. Part 6. What is normal blood cholesterol? It is perfectly normal to have a certain amount of fat and cholesterol in the bloodstream, as these are necessary for upkeep of the human body. It is in excess that is the troublemaker. That is why we should keep our blood cholesterol level normal. How can we determine the true index of a normal blood cholesterol level? It can, to a great extent, be gauged by a comparison with other peoples of the world, whole populations completely free of coronary disease. Since the onset of the coronary epidemic in the United States, medical experts have made exhaustive studies on this subject. Medical experts state 120 to 200, although they differ in the range of safety in the blood cholesterol index. Top medical scientists and researchers agree in placing it at a level below 200. Here are some of the opinions. 150 to 185, according to Dr. W.D. Wright of the University of Nebraska College of Medicine. Below 200, said Dr. N. Joliffe of New York City's Department of Health. Peace, peace. 170 was the opinion of Dr. A.G. Shaper of the Makerere College Medical School in Uganda. 180 as a maximum, stated Dr. Bernard Amsterdam in the New York State Journal of Medicine. 200 or less was the verdict of Dr. M.E. Grover in the Journal of the College of Physicians. 150, according to Dr. Lewis H. Nahum of the Yale School of Medicine. 120 to 180 is the optimal normal in the judgment of Dr. William Dot, professor of medicine at the State University of New York. In my opinion, I believe that the blood cholesterol level of 120 to 180, as given by Dr. Doc, is about correct. In my own personal life, this is the level which I keep my blood cholesterol. It is my suggestion that you get your blood cholesterol test at least once a year. Twice is better, for it is better to be safe than sorry. Peace, peace. Yeah, we're in the eye of the storm. Reading from How to Keep Your Heart Healthy and Fit by Paul C. Bragg and Patricia Bragg. Yeah, we're doing it. This is part 6 on the YouTube, so you can go back and read it with. I will put it all in the same catalog. Thank you, thank you. Fasting is the quickest way to lower blood cholesterol naturally. In my opinion, fasting is the quickest and the easiest method of lowering blood cholesterol. I get my test for blood cholesterol twice a year, and if it goes over 180, I fast from 3 to 7 days, and it soon goes back to 180. Fasting is a wonderful way to give the heart a rest. That is why I fast for a 24-hour period every week on distilled water. I will discuss this more in detail later in this book. Note, for full and complete details on the science of fasting, read my book, The Miracle of Fasting. See inside back cover of this book for information on obtaining it. The elimination of waste products by fasting increases longevity. Alex Carrel, MD, famous scientist. Cholesterol, the barometer of our lifespan. One thing that will unquestionably shorten the lifespan is a body that is overburdened with blood fat, or what is known as an excess of cholesterol. Cholesterol in itself is not harmful. In fact, it is important to many of our body processes, and the body even manufactures it as extra fuel in emergencies. Chol means bile, and sterol means fatty. Much of the fat that we eat is broken down by the liver into the cholesterol and excreted into the bile, later to be reabsorbed into the bloodstream for distribution to the tissues. As noted, normal blood cholesterol levels are 120 to 180. But when our diet is overloaded with the high cholesterol content of saturated, hard, animal fats, and when we do not exercise enough to burn up even the normal, much less the excess amount of cholesterol as fuel, then the bloodstream becomes choked with the waxy particles of cholesterol, which lodge into the arterial walls and clog them. It has been established that the amount of cholesterol deposited in the walls of the arteries is in direct relationship to the amount of cholesterol in the bloodstream. Thus, you can see how clogged the arteries must be when the blood cholesterol level rises to 270 or 320, 380, and even higher. Yet these excessive levels are not uncommon today, especially in the American men. Remember that the amount of cholesterol in your blood tells you of the risk you are running of having a coronary ailment or attack. It is the barometer of your lifespan. It is the barometer of your lifespan. It is very wise, therefore, for every adult to see it that he does not raise the blood cholesterol above a safe normal level. These chunks of waxy cholesterol can block an artery and bring on heart failure, stroke, or even death. How much fats are you stowing away? Most persons know little or nothing about cholesterol and go merrily on using large quantities of butter on their bread, toast, buns, potatoes, and vegetables. They drink great quantities of pasteurized milk and gobble gallons of ice cream. Meat, fish, poultry, eggs, yolks, potato chips, French fried potatoes, donuts, bacon, ham, and sausage pour fat into the blood. That's right, it pours fat into the blood. Little do people realize that their high levels of cholesterol are leading them to disaster, that they may be literally eating themselves to death. Some individuals consume as many as 4 or 5 cups of saturated fats daily and then wonder why they have a heart attack, a stroke, or some other form of heart trouble. As I mentioned previously, the clogging of the arterial system by excess cholesterol, the deposits of heavy, waxy fat, and the walls of the arteries is called atherosclerosis. It is not brought on by age, but by diet. Examination of the bodies of young soldiers killed in battle in Korea revealed the shocking fact that 77% of the Americans, average age 22, already had atherosclerosis. In contrast, among the Koreans and other Orientals who had died on the same battlefield under the same conditions, there was only 11% incidence of this disease. As well known, the Oriental diet is low in saturated fats, the deadly fats. Yes, we are going. Yes. Reading from How to Keep Your Heart Healthy and Fit by Paul C. Bragg and Patricia Bragg. I'm your well read. Hi, sorry. Thank you. The deadly fats. The United States is a nation of fat eaters. 40% of the average American diet is made up of saturated fats, and the most of these are commercial hydrogenated fats, the most deadly of all fats. Commercial hydrogenated fat is not a natural fat in any sense of the word. It is a solid fat, so solid that it cannot be broken down by the body heat, which is 98.6 degrees, which also come down. Natural unsaturated fats break down at body temperature. These are actually perishable foods. In time, natural unsaturated fats will take on the oxygen and become rancid with a strong odor or bitter taste, which makes them unappetizing for human consumption. Hydrogenated fat, saturated fat, remains stable because it has been made impervious to oxygen. In reality, it is embalmed fat. In reality, it is embalmed fat. Yet the American housewife has been brainwashed by the large manufacturers of these saturated hydrogenated fats into believing that they are permanently fresh. She can buy a can of one of the well known brands and keep it in the house from 1 to 10 years because it is impossible for them to turn rancid. Clever advertising tells her that these saturated, hydrogenated, snow white, uh, heavily processed vegetable shortenings will not smoke, and there is other sales prattle which has no relation whatsoever to good nutrition. The same applies to margarines made to imitate butter. So instead of the natural unsaturated fats that will aid her family's health, she feeds her loved ones these deadly saturated hydrogenated fats that are nothing but troublemakers when an excess gets into the bloodstream. High in cholesterol content, these killer fats clog up the human pipe system, especially the vital arteries, and can eventually cause a fatal or crippling clot, thrombosis. Beware of saturated, hydrogenated fats. Listen to the words of Dr. Paul Dudley White, the great heart specialist. Dr. Paul Dudley White, past president of the American Heart Association and world famous heart specialist, has wise advice to give on taking care of the heart. I want to call your attention especially to the following points made by Dr. White in an article written for the Heart Association. He begins with the startling information that middle age begins at 20 and that the dangerous years are ages 20 to 40. Here are Dr. White's own words. When does middle age begin? At 20, and it lasts until 80. And the dangerous years of this 60-year span of the first 20, not the last. These are the years when an overfed and under-exercised public is sowing the seeds of a coronary harvest. We'll pause right here. Continue back in the storm. Eyes hard. How to keep your heart healthy and fit. I'm your Royal Riley. Eyes hard. Thank you all. Thank you so much. We'll continue. Thank you.